Apparently notification worked. There's a bunch of folks jumping in. Cool. How's everyone doing this morning? This evening? I always say this morning, but I forget the world is a big place. Yeah, it's okay if not everyone's here. I don't make it every week. Oh, tried to test the language. There is currently the language stuff is a little out of date. Like the testing section is not actually correct anymore. I need to. That's been on my to-do list to fix that for quite a while. Let's see if I go to. If I can go. Yeah, when you submit a language, I'll just do a random one. Actually, I'll do gibberish. But yeah, normally when you submit a language, I'll just make a little change to something. Let's change this and add a D. Cool. Oh, whoops. I didn't actually mean to submit that. I was actually just trying to show. I was trying to show the little section that tells how to like test it, because that section no longer works, unfortunately. There we go. Testing your changes in game. Yeah, this is this downloads like a BS language test.py file. Unfortunately, at some point, I switched the game to use JSON files instead of Python files, so I still need to update this editor so that it lets you download a JSON file, so then you could actually test it. But at the moment, that's slightly broken, so I apologize for that. I do, like, it has, in general, it's been on my to-do list for a while. Like, I want to, like, make an updated version of this whole, like, language editor thing. I've talked about this a few times before, but there's some features I think would be good to have in here, like some sort of simple voting system or something, so people can, I don't know, decide which version of a translation is the best, because I do get a lot of cases where people will submit different translations for the same thing, and it's probably like different dialects or different, variations of a language. But then it's hard for me to know like which one is the best, or which one is correct or anything like that. So yeah, I'd like to give myself a better system to help kind of resolve some of those things. And there's probably some cases too where I should split the language off, because like these are the languages we currently have, but I know, for instance, like Portuguese. Here, there's like Brazilian Portuguese, and then there's like Portugal Portuguese. And apparently, those are significantly different. But we just have one language to cover both of those. So I think that's why I sometimes get people submitting one variation or the other. Um, Also, I don't know. There's some fun. I feel like I'm wondering if it would be possible to use like Chat GPT or something to like check answers, or at least to make sure that people aren't like putting nonsense answers and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's a few things I'd love to work on with the translation tool. But anyway, if so, yeah, apologies that the testing stuff isn't working. But if you get any of these like incomplete languages, if you get them close to 100%, or anytime a language gets close to 100%, then I will pull it into the game. So then it's actually a selectable language. Pirate Speak is getting closer. 68%. The dream is within our grasp. I know these darn translations have been getting bigger. I mean, there's like 1,500 entries, which, yeesh. It's weird. Like, I can't even think of like 1,500 things the game would have in it, but apparently there are. Um, some of these, though, on a random note, another thing that I would like to improve is having some way to be able to tell like which of these translation entries are not actually in use anymore, because a good amount of them aren't, or have never been in use. Actually, some of these I put in here like intending to add to the game, but I never actually used them in the game. So it would be great for me to add some way where I can like test and see like, oh, this isn't being used in the game anymore. I can remove this so then people don't waste their time translating it. Um, so yeah, always something needing to be done. If someone submits possible fake translations, is it possible to revert? Yes, it is. So in my database, I have like every submit everyone's ever done for languages. So I can go back to old ones. I also have some tests and whatnot to try to catch fake submissions. So they're not foolproof. It's probably possible to get a fake submission through, but please don't try because it just wastes my time. But yeah, it is possible to revert. So in the worst case, if someone gets some bad translations into the game, we can go back to the fixed ones. There has been a time or two it was kind of funny. Like someone they submitted a Spanish translation and they just changed like literally every translation to like taco. So it's just like, oh. Luckily I caught that one before it didn't make it onto the store. We here for long. I'm usually this goes about 2 hours. So on average, I got a little bit of a late start today, so maybe it'll go a little past. Well, it's 10:15 a.m. for me, so probably right past noon. The last week we had or 2 weeks ago, I guess we had kind of a marathon. Coffee with Eric went it was like 2.5 hours. There was a lot of stuff to show last week, so that makes sense. So anything new with all of you folks? I've been very much in like heads down mode working on game stuff. So I'll show what I've been working on soon, but just curious. Is anything broken or on fire or Sock and Mickey Rog. I guess they're not around today. That's okay though. They can catch it on YouTube tomorrow. Or if they don't catch it, that's all right too. There's nothing like super profound today. It's kind of one of those just chat about whatever days. But I can also talk about what I've been working on. So last time, anyone who was here 2 weeks ago, I showed kind of the first pass of like asset package stuff, which was very exciting. Basically being able to come in here and like make a workspace and bring texture or like JPEG files or PNG files in, and this thing will automatically convert those to textures that the game uses and download them for you and stuff like that. So there will be more demos of that stuff coming up. It's all very much work in progress still right now. I did add cool icons, so if you come in and make a workspace and like add files, you have these lovely little folder and document icons, which are SVG files, so they're resolution independent. I was very excited. Also been adding some stuff, just like you'll be able to do things if you're making textures, just like setting texture quality, like basically exposing little like UIs, so you'll be able to kind of mess with a few basic settings in here. I want to keep it as simple as possible. So if you're making a mod, you don't have to worry about like setting specific texture formats or anything like that. It's more just like, hey, I want to make a texture out of this JPEG file and I want it to look high quality. I do need to put like an explanation in here, like what texture quality is about, because in most cases you don't actually want high quality. High quality just means like the texture is going to be bigger, or I mean it's going to like take more space and the compression will be a little bit less. But in most cases, if the compression isn't showing up, like it's better to keep it on medium or even low, just because that saves space. So. Bob DDS could theoretically, yeah, I guess that's a good question. Like, could we? My thought was to, in most cases, just accept like a source file, like a PNG file or a JPEG file, or the kind of the input file, and then this will generate the output files, which are various like different formats of textures depending on the platform. Like it's a DDS file with BC3 compression for desktop platforms, but for like mobile platforms like Android, it'll probably be it might be like a KTX file with ASTC compression. Sorry, these random letters probably don't mean anything to a lot of folks, um, but yeah, that's a good point. Like anyone who's modded the game already has already had to convert their textures into those formats, or convert audio into OGG format, which is what the game reads. So yeah, if somebody's just wanting to like translate a mod, it might actually be better to just drag their OGG into the workspace, or drag their compressed texture. The only downside is if you drag like a compressed file in here, like a DDS file, it's going to have to recompress it for like mobile, because the DDS versions, that was only for desktop. And texture compression is kind of crappy. So I'm wondering if that might be a bad idea. Like if we allow people to drag already compressed textures into here. I know like a JPEG file is technically compressed also, but you can have a pretty high quality JPEG file. But texture compression, it's always like kind of a fixed quality, so it's never going to be great. And so I wonder if like recompressing that would be bad. I mean, it wouldn't have to recompress it necessarily for the DDS version, but for like the ASTC version or the KTX version or whatever, like the mobile version, it probably would have to recompress it. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to give that some thought. But maybe like OGG, that could be okay, maybe. Because then OGG, it could just basically use that anywhere, because all platforms currently use OGG. But I don't know. That's still, well, in the OGG case, I guess you can have compression set really high. Well, but yeah, like I don't know if it would make sense to like recompress OGG files just so that they have like a fixed compression. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a little like rabbit hole here of thinking about this stuff, but that is an interesting request, so I will think about that, being able to just drag existing textures in here. But in general, the whole idea with the workspace stuff is like you're supposed to drag like source files in here, like maybe not like Photoshop files. I'm curious if I should add support for Photoshop files, because the downside with Photoshop files is they get huge. Like when I'm working on files, I save everything in a Photoshop file, and I have like a million layers in there. And so the files get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, I'm like spitting out a JPEG or a PNG or something, which is always small. So I don't know if I should like encourage people to use Photoshop files in workspaces, because then it's going to get really slow every time you want to upload a new version. Your Photoshop file is going to be huge, so that might not be a good way to work. Probably the way I will work is I'm going to work in Photoshop files locally, the way I always have, and then I'll have a little, I'll export them to JPEGs into the workspace or whatever, or PNG files, and then have the workspace compress them into, whatever the game wants. So anyway, enough on that for now, but some very good questions. Are you planning Halloween special characters or Bomb Squad logo? I really hope so. I am booking right now on this workspace stuff, on the 1.8 stuff. I know it's taken forever to get 1.8 out the door, but it's really coming up. So I really hope to be able to do some stuff like modded logos or Halloween characters or something. Because for anyone who hasn't heard, that's the big feature with Bomb Squad 1.8 is being able to download stuff dynamically. So if I want to add new characters to the store, or like a new variation of a character, or other new stuff, like I'll be able to do that without everybody having to update the game. That was the big limitation before, is that if I add something new, then everyone needs to get a new version of the game that has that thing. Otherwise, there's all sorts of problems. Like if you connect to a server that's using some new assets that you don't have, it'll crash and stuff like that. So this should solve a lot of those problems. So it should let me add new stuff without having to wait for everyone to update the game, which takes quite a while. It's really interesting on that note, not to get off on a little tangent, but I just added a little graph for myself to really be able to easily see like what versions of the game everyone's running. And here we go. So this is recent builds of the game. So 21888 is, I believe, I should add version numbers here, but that's 1735, I believe, the newest version on the store. And so I have the last few versions, basically. So this is the current version on the store. It's been there for about 30 days. Before that, there was this version, which was there for about 30 days. So So you can see this interesting little graph here of like versions of the game. So this is the old version of the game, whatever the previous version was. As soon as this version came out, you know, most everyone or a good chunk of people updated within like 7 days. And then it's a slow trickle since then, like more and more people updating. And this version drops pretty fast. But the interesting part is this, like this zero. Zero basically is before I was measuring. So this is like any old version of the game. It's still like a huge percentage of people are running older versions of the game, and it doesn't drop very fast. So it's kind of interesting that like most people update to this new version pretty quickly, like within 7 days. And that happens every time an update's put out. Like it's about 7 days to get most of the people on the new one. But still like almost like a third of the people are still on the old one for some reason. So it's like some people update really fast and other people don't. So I'm curious like what's behind that. It does look like 7 or 10 days ago, like the old version started dropping. So I'm curious if like Android after 30 days or something, it finally like starts to move old people off of old versions of the game or something. So it's, who knows. But anyway, that's that. The graph is kind of to show like why 1.8 will matter, because there's still like a third or a half of people are using like old versions of the game. So if there's any new stuff, like they wouldn't be able to use it. So it'll be great once everyone's finally on 1.8 plus, then new characters, new maps, things like that will just be like usable for everyone. So very excited about that and working as fast as I can. Ooh, Roadmap Seagull made an appearance. Bomb Squad turning into Steam Workshop. Kind of. I mean, this has been like a long-term plan of mine. Is basically I want to move, like I'm building all this weird workspace stuff and all this infrastructure stuff kind of for myself, but I'm making it a point to build it so anyone else can use it too. So I don't know. I have no idea where it's going to go, but we'll see. I mean, people have done like such awesome mods with the game, so it's like I'm really kind of, I want to just, you know, put some effort into supporting that and seeing what other awesome stuff people can build. How do I come up with the characters? I don't have a big team. I'm just working on the game by myself, so I just come up with the characters like, I don't know, randomly. I just kind of like to doodle, mess around. Most of the, I mean, my guideline for myself is like when I make a character, I'm trying to make it like a generic, not generic thing, but you know, like a rabbit or you know something where people. My thought is that if there's 6 people playing the game like on a couch and yelling at each other, they're not going to be like, oh, the weird. Like alien thing that looks sort of like what you know. It's like they're gonna come up with just be like kill the rabbit, kill the rabbit. You know, so I feel like every character should have just like a quick, a simple, you know, shape or a simple concept that people can when they're yelling at each other on the couch they can, you know. So there's the rabbit, kill the wizard, kill the snowman. So just yeah, the idea of like trying to keep it simple. Discord bugged. Oh no. Okay, I feel like I'm missing so many questions. I do know the names of the characters, but yeah, it's like I said, I feel like the names are less important than because most, you know, again, I guess it's an interesting because people that play the game online or people that are like you know pro players, they do probably know the names and they know everything pretty well. But I still like I kind of designed the character or designed the game for new people in a way. You know, people who are just because that's who I like played it with when I was you know building it as just like friends who had never played it before, just people who are kind of messing around. Um, what's the size of my storage? Oh yeah, I can talk about all that stuff. So I should get into that. If I missed any questions just now, just come back and you know ask them later. But yeah, storage stuff. So if we come in here, so you'll see that there's a few kind of mysterious new bits if you come and look in your account settings. One is storage, so you can manage storage, blah, blah, blah. By default, everyone gets 32 megs of storage. which I'm hoping is enough. That should be enough to do any amount of scripting. Like scripts are pretty small, but I'm hoping that's enough to do some like basic modding and stuff too, in terms of like throwing some textures in there or sounds or whatever. Um, but then the new thing I'm adding is this is functional, but it's not yet. It's functional, but not really. So if you go to manage storage, there's this crazy storage packs section as of like a day ago. So like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this currency? What's going on here? so, um, so this is something where, because I wanted to get this stuff fully functional, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a detour and implementing something that it's been on my to-do list for like 10 years, basically, is kind of like migrating the game's in-app purchase system to kind of a different, like a more modernized place. So basically switching up tickets and stuff a little bit. So I can explain that a little bit now. So basically I'm adding a second currency to the game called tokens. And tokens, the whole idea behind tokens is that is going to become like the game's like only purchasable currency. So I'm kind of separating like the in-game currency, which is tickets, from purchasable currency, which is tokens. And the whole point of that, I have this big like explanation for it. Let's see if I can find it. So landings, what are tokens? So here we go, all about tokens. There's going to be a link in the game to do this, so it'll kind of like describe what the whole thing about tokens is. But basically, tokens is just going to be like the free-to-play kind of currency. So that'll be, I'm kind of copying from some games that I think do this sort of thing well. Like I think Clash Royale is a good one where, like when I was playing Clash Royale like 10 years ago, quite a bit. Maybe, I don't know how much has changed since then, but I remember like it had, like its in-app purchases didn't feel, I mean it had like loot boxes and stuff, which I don't like, but I feel like it had a good system where like I could play the game as much as I wanted and get little treasure chests for winning games. And then if I wanted it, I could just use a few gold coins or whatever their currency was, or gems. I probably just like open those chests a little bit faster, but it wasn't like necessary. It was just like a way to speed up the game a little bit and make it more fun. So that's what I'm going to try to do with tokens, is kind of have this little this currency for a very specific purpose that hopefully some people will spend on, some people won't, but hopefully just to like speed up the game a little bit and not feel like sleazy and paywall-y. And I'm not going to have anything like loot boxes that you can buy, because I don't know, to me that feels kind of sleazy. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the reason I'm doing that, is that there can be tokens for that kind of stuff. But then the good thing about that is that tickets, like the existing ticket economy, I can make that a lot better. Like I can add a lot more like ways to get tickets in the game. I can make it so you can like earn tickets from just playing random rounds or playing. Yeah, basically I can just make it easier to get tickets, which I'm excited about, because the big challenge in balancing economy stuff in Bomb Squad is that like I had to make it almost like hard to get tickets, because I want to encourage people to buy tickets, because I have to, pay my power bill, stuff like that. So this way, by like separating out like the free to play part, like the token stuff, I can make tickets a lot, maybe not easier to get, but I can make like more ways to get tickets. So I'm excited about that. So that's basically what tokens are going to be about. So the game is transitioning over to tokens for any paid stuff. But then the one other thing I wanted to mention is that I know some people really don't like free-to-play kind of stuff or like microtransaction type stuff. So there's also, a big part of my new design is this little fella here, the Gold Pass. So I'm going to have basically this like one-time purchase you can do. If you really don't like, microtransactions, you can just get a Gold Pass, and that gives you like infinite tokens forever. So basically that just turns the game into like a premium game, essentially. So I'm pretty happy with this design. I think it'll be like a good, hopefully fair feeling design where, people that want to kind of take the free to play, pay as you go route and play the game that way, they can just, spend a few tokens here and there. Or you don't have to, it'll just like slow the game down a little bit. But the people that just want to be done with it, or, just like don't like free to play stuff, you can just like buy the Gold Pass, and then basically you have like a non free to play game. So anyway, the plan right now is I can show you. I'm currently like in the middle of working on like the screens for all this stuff. But the plan is Well, also, by the way, right now you can still buy tickets. You'll still be able to buy tickets. There's just this like new get tokens section. Um, the plan is to basically migrate any paid stuff to tokens and then probably get rid of ticket purchasing. So I don't want to like complicate the game too much. So basically, tickets will you'll still have all your tickets. No one's going to lose tickets. Um, but yeah, at some point soon, like tokens will be the one thing that you buy. Tickets will just be like all in game. But my plan is so I'm experimenting with looks here. This obviously I haven't like drawn the tokens yet, but I was trying to make it like experimenting with a little bit more like the modern, Fortnite-ish looking shiny stuff. Um, but anyway, yeah, this is my plan. I also want to make like I'm bringing back the $1 purchase. Like it for a long time, it's just been like 5 or more. So I don't want this stuff to be expensive. So I bringing back maybe it'll be 50 or 75. I got to figure stuff out, but yeah, the plan is there'll be 4 token packs, so starting at $1, and the most expensive will be $19, and then the gold, the last thing will be like I haven't done this yet, but the gold pass, I'm thinking 30. I'm trying to think like what a premium game on like Steam, like Minecraft or something like that. Like what is like the full price for a game? Because I want to make I was thinking 30 seems right for something like that. I don't know what that would translate to in other currencies, but got to figure that out. So, again, this is more just like if you plan on playing the game for years and years and years and you want to just get the gold pass and then like you're done forever. But I want it to also be like very, low friction if you just want to buy a few tokens here and there. Or if you don't want to buy anything at all, it just means like you might have to like wait for treasure chests to open or something like that. So anyway, that is, I've been trying to get this stuff in place because it's been like a plan for like 10 years. And also this will tie into storage stuff. Because, yeah, if you're modding the game and you want some storage, that's why tokens will just be used for storage. So you can just like unlock some storage, get 10 gigs of storage for a year or whatever, stuff like that. I want to make this like as cheap as possible because I want to encourage people to mod, and I'm not trying to like make money off of modders. But like this is basically just so I don't wind up spending bajillions of dollars in, for server fees, because servers are expensive. So I just need to like, pass that cost forward a bit. But anyway, yeah. So that's my plan. I will. Yeah, soon in the game, probably within the next few days, this will show up in like test builds. And then if you press the little learn more button, this goes into like all my reasoning that I was just trying to explain, just in terms of like how this will work and how it kind of replaces tickets in a way, but not really. So anyway, yeah, that's the plan with tokens. So yeah, any thoughts on that? I probably missed a bunch of thoughts here. So thoughts, it'll probably... Yeah, no, I don't want it to look just like Fortnite or something. I'm just experimenting with like brighter colors. This still has like the clay texture and all that. I don't want it to look like... I want Bomb Squad to still look like Bomb Squad. I was just experimenting with kind of, like a slight variation on the look. I might go back to, more like this or something, or we'll see. But I was having fun with experimenting here. I am like that's why I don't have like the tokens in here yet, is because I will be modeling them out of clay and I haven't done that yet. So this will be clay tokens here. I just need to make them. Tokens design, but yeah, tokens design, they will be clay because that is Bomb Squad's design, is like clay handmade looking stuff. So I have no intention to go away from that. But anyway, yeah, I think hopefully this isn't too radical sounding or anything like that. But the thing I'm excited for is that like by having the gold pass, basically having an option where someone can basically get rid of all the free to play stuff, that means I can also, theoretically I could release a game that's just, a version of the game that you just pay for up front, like on the Nintendo Switch or something like that. I don't know if it would be worth doing like the free to play stuff there, or if it's just like you just buy the game and you're done with it. So basically just what this encourages me to do, or requires me to do, is just make the game work like in a premium situation where someone has just paid for the game once and then it's done with. But it's still like the pay as you go will also be an option. So it's just kind of like pick your path. You can do the all you can eat, or you can do the like a la carte kind of thing. Um, so anyway, yeah, that's and so yeah, that's kind of like part of the design was being able to make the game work. Like I said, in cases where there is no in-app purchases. Um, and so that's kind of why I went down this route with like the two different options. So. It can be like Game Pass. What is Game Pass? Or I know there's all sorts of things like that. Is that the Xbox one, or what is? Yeah, what or Game Pass? I should know what Game Pass is. Yeah, it's basically. I mean, you can just think of it as the Gold Pass is basically just like get rid of the free to play. Like basically, don't ever make me wait for anything. Don't ever show me an ad. Like turn the game into just uh, like a premium game basically. And the pay as you go with tokens will just be kind of more like free to play style, where it's like my plan is, I don't ever want to have pay to win kind of stuff. This will be just more like pay a few tokens here and there to speed things up, to like not wait to get, a treasure chest open, stuff like that, a little bit. Um, so, basically the upside for me is that, like I said, I can not have to balance in-game economy with real economy. I don't have to make it harder to earn tickets so that people buy tickets. This way I can make tickets just purely about like, how is it fun to earn tickets? Um, Mr. Sock, howdy. So yeah, Sock, to catch you up, I was just talking about I am since the workspace stuff is coming along. Basically, I wanted to add unlockable like workspace storage. So for that to work, I needed to go ahead and start converting my doing like my economy upgrade that I've been talking about for a long time. So basically adding tokens to the game. So tokens will be the one purchasable currency in the game. Tickets will still be there and still be earnable, but they won't be purchasable. So anyway, so yeah, so that'll be coming very soon. Tokens, um, and also yeah, I was mentioning the Gold Pass too, which is just another option, which basically gives you infinite tokens. So it kind of just gets rid of the token purchases. So just like anything where you would have to pay tokens, you just like get. So yeah, new currency. So basically splitting the in-game currency out from like the real money currency, basically. So I'm excited about it. I think it'll be good. I feel like it'll make my job easier, and that like there will be a definite like this is the thing you pay for, and this is the thing that's part of gameplay, and it's really something I learned. It's been like 10 years since I converted the game to free to play. It's like it's kind of hard to like intertwine them. It's so I think this will make it just easier, where it's like, hey, you can either pay for the whole game if you want with the Gold Pass, or you can like pay a little bit as you go with like ticket or token purchases. So yeah, and I know not everyone can wants to pay that full price for the game, and that's why I want honestly like my goal with this economy design is make it so like that I would love it if nobody buys the Gold Pass. The Gold Pass is just like a parachute. It's like if the game is if the game is feeling too oppressive, if the free to play stuff is feeling too oppressive, it gives people like a ripcord to like screw this free to play stuff. I know it's an expensive ripcord, but I would honestly prefer if people like did the free to play stuff, buy a token pack here and there. If you're going to play the game for, and I hope people play the game for a long time, but if someone's going to play the game for like 10 years, I would much rather they just buy a token pack every now and then and, pay as they go instead of, paying one time and then being, because yeah, if someone's paying the game for 10 years and get a ton of enjoyment out of it, theoretically, if you wind up paying more than you pay for a token pack, but over the course of 10 years, like I'd almost prefer that. Um, so anyway, it's almost just like it's like a rental versus owning sort of thing. Um, Bomb Squad Pro, nothing will. I mean, I might make it not possible to buy Pro anymore just to simplify things, but nobody, like everyone who has Pro is still going to keep all the Pro benefits. So, I mean, all the unlockable characters, of course, and like the 600 tickets, and the not showing ads like that, they will definitely keep that. I'm not going to get rid of any of the Pro benefits. Um, I may like I might move some of those benefits to like some of this stuff later. Like let's say if you buy a token pack, you won't see ads for or you won't get between game ads for the rest of the season or something like that. Or yeah, well, I'll have to think about that. I do want to like simplify things. I want to have like fewer things people can buy instead of more. And so I know like right now it's complicated where there's like the existing like there's pro and then there's ticket packs and now there's tokens. Um, so I want to, as soon as possible, I want to get rid of ticket purchases. Uh, Possibly get rid of pro too. We'll see. But again, like I will not be removing any benefits from anybody. So if you've already got pro, like you're going to keep the pro benefits. So okay, see you, Sock. Wait. Honestly, this has been a plan of mine for like 10 years. As soon as I released the game on Google Play, I started to realize like, oh, it's really hard to balance tickets. I'd like to give people more ways to get tickets, but I can't because then they won't buy ticket packs. So it's been like on my mind for like 10 years, like, oh, I need to really like separate a new currency so then I can like make tickets easier to get. So I'm finally doing it 10 years later. Better late than never, right? Thoughts on pushing a Force update? I don't know. Were you here for that graph I just showed where like so many people are still on the old version of the game? Like, I don't know. For one, I don't know if I can like force people to update. I mean, I could have something. A lot of games have something where like you can't play multiplayer until you update, so it kind of forces people. I'd prefer not to do that as much as possible. I like that people don't have to worry about updating, but at the same point, for online stuff, it does cause problems if people are running old versions of the game. So it's like this balance. But yeah, the stats I was showing, just to show that again, the recent build numbers is, in the past 30 days, or yeah, you can see like these recent builds, like there was a release 60 days ago or whatever, and most people got that. A release 30 days ago, most people got that. But, almost half or a third are still on older versions and slowly dropping. But like if you extrapolate this out, I mean, until this, like I'm really curious what this is. This looks like something changed. But if you extrapolate this out, it would be like years until everyone is updated. So, and I know like Google Play does have some options where you can like press a button and it will, it's like a new thing where it like forces everyone to update. I don't know if like that's a good idea or not. Because yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be too forceful. Like I don't want to like make it so that if someone just starts playing the game and then suddenly they can't play because the update is required and then they're just going to like go play another game. It's like I don't want to scare people away. But at the same point, it is nice when everyone's updated because then I can roll out new features and everyone gets them and things like that. Merp. Yeah, see, stuff like this is what I'm trying to fix. Like, people have discovered that the best way to get tickets is to like do weird account merge hacks, and that sucks. Like, I kind of limited tickets just again so that people would buy ticket packs sometimes, but then that just makes it frustrating for people who just want to like play the game and earn tickets. So I'm hoping that this will make the game just feel a lot better, where it's like basically probably every time you win a match or even co-op levels, or if you win a co-op level, you'll probably get like a treasure chest, and then that treasure chest will open soon, or you can throw a token at it to open it quicker. Like that's basically the idea. Like I said, I feel like Clash Royale does a good job where like you can play as much as you want. It's just like sometimes to earn everything from what you're winning, you might need to spend a token here or there, or watch an ad or something like that, or buy the gold pass, and then you never have to do any of that. But that's kind of the plan. It's just I want to make it possible to earn tickets easier. So that's yeah. I might just go ahead and try to like convert the economy over as soon as possible, like in the next few weeks, which means it's going to delay 1.8 a little bit more. But I kind of don't want to stick around in this weird situation where there's tickets and tokens and like what's the difference? What's going on? And yeah, like then hopefully there will be more ways to burn tickets as well. I know that's a problem too, but that also 1.8 should should help that because that'll make it so I can upload new character variations and fun stuff like that, just like different skins for existing characters or new maps or things like that. So hopefully making it easier to earn tickets in game, and then plus making more stuff that you can use those tickets on. Yeah, hopefully with those combined, we'll be in a good place. Large test account. Bob and Cobb files. So yeah, I'll have to look at this. Bob files are probably fine because those aren't compressed. So yeah, Bob and Cobb files, we could probably do that instead of OBJ files. Truthfully though, OBJ files, I mean, like if you're worried about account storage and stuff, like OBJ files are a lot smaller than, like image files are the biggest culprit. But I think if you do like PNG PNG files can get kind of big too, but they have alpha channels. Yeah, we'll see. I'll add as many formats as I can. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to Bob and Cobb files, like I said, because they're not compressed. It's a very small amount of data. Like that's the whole reason I made the file, is just to make it like a small, simple set of data. I guess they are technically slightly compressed because I think they might be like 16-bit floats. But still, it's like, that's not a problem. It's not gonna like compress them worse. There's no like recompression that would happen. Ooh, Scoldy. Let's get rid of Bomb Squad here. I want to hear Scoldy. I love it. Oh, there was I forgot what it was. There was some video I played last time that had some music in the background. It was the first time this has ever happened, where I uploaded my thing to YouTube and I got hit with like a copyright notice, like you can't publish this video. And it turned out to be because of that little YouTube clip I played that someone had. I forgot what song in the background, like an old R&B song. So I had to like poke some buttons, be like, oh, strip this part out, or strip the audio out of this part, so hopefully people can watch the video. So if anyone ran into some weird error where they couldn't watch last week's or the last episode, I apologize. But hopefully it worked. Can you post an image of Scoldy just to remind us or show people what he looked like? But yeah, going back to this, it does, having people on old versions does make it difficult, but it's manageable. But again, that's part of the reason of 1.8 is that like once 1.8 is out, hopefully anyone who finally updates to 1.8, it'll be less important that they get newer updates because they'll be able to like download assets and things like that. If you want to make, I mean, I'm pretty open to any people. Like Sock made like Bomb Story and whatnot. So yeah, I'm open to stuff if you want to, if you need me to give approval for things. I mean, if anything is actually getting like too, official, I need to sign legal documents or something like that. But yeah, ping me offline. I'd be happy to give people, I love that people do like fan art or little series or things like that. So I want to be very open to that. I went to a game developer conference talking about that, basically talking about like how it can be good to, as a game maker, like let people make fan art and stuff like that. Like some companies are like clamp down real hard on that. I don't want to point names or point fingers or anything like that, but yeah, some companies are very restrictive of like letting people make stuff with their IP, but they were talking about how it can be like not good and beneficial. It's like having a fan community that's interested in making stuff. Like that's great, embrace it. But yeah, they were talking about like, oh, it is good to, sign proper contracts and things like that. Make sure it doesn't like, go too far and all that, or make sure you don't lose your intellectual property, things like that. So, but yeah, in general, happy to have people making stuff for the game. That's super cool. Plan on new maps and new chars and game mods. So new maps and chars 1.8. That's the big plan. Roadmap Seagull almost should make an appearance, but yeah, yeah, all this stuff with both asset packages, workspaces, asset packages, all this stuff I've been kind of showing the past few weeks. That's all kind of wrapping in with what 1.8 is all about. 1.8 is all about being able to create new asset packages, things like that, and have the game be able to like download those on the fly. And so once that's in place, then yeah, I really want to go to town with making some new stuff. So 1.8, probably the initial 1.8 release will probably just have all the tech in it. It'll just be able to, download new asset packs and support asset packs and things like that. It probably, because I don't want to delay 1.8 anymore, I'll probably just release 1.8 as soon as that tech is there. And then as part of 1.8, I'll start releasing some stuff. I wanted to show, actually, this is kind of interesting. I was digging around this last week and got my old Maya setup going. I haven't actually been in there in a while, like messing with assets. Is it gonna launch? Maya, come back, Maya. Oh, here we go. So I used Maya. Maya's a well-known 3D app. It's been around since the Stone Age. I remember like playing with Maya for the first time in like 1997 or something like that. It was like new then, or new-ish. It was new in the 90s, but it was like the fancy new thing back then. Nowadays, it's all about Blender. Like I still need to learn Blender at some point, but I do know Maya like so well. I've been using Maya for so long. So I don't know like where I will go in terms of, like what I start making stuff in. If I ever like convert to using Blender, I do want like, I want the game to be Blender friendly. Oh Maya, your UI is so big. But anyway, yeah, here's some of my old files. So this is like my props.ma file, which is, you probably see a lot of familiar stuff from the game. This is basically where I went and, did a lot of modeling these UI elements. And you see a lot of these UI bits. It's not only textured, but it's also like little chunks of mesh that are just kind of designed for those UI bits, so we're not like drawing any extra space. So you can see each of these little dudes, little eyeballs has their own little mesh. Little computer guy has his own little mesh. And for a lot of these, they actually have two meshes. So you see like a lot of these like window elements, there's like a middle one, which is like the solid mesh, you can see, and then there's this outer one, which is the transparent mesh. And so this is actually like helps the game be more efficient. It draws the middle one using like opaque geometry, which is generally a more efficient way to draw. And then it'll draw the outer part using transparent geometry because this part, has transparent bits. So for a lot of these things, it's separated out into those two elements for that reason. That's probably not so necessary these days because, this was all designed back, in 2013, 2012. Actually, probably maybe before then. This stuff was probably for... Actually, I think I probably redesigned some of this when I was doing like the initial Android version. Because like mobile stuff at the time was so slow. Like drawing a big transparent polygon, like covering the screen was actually somewhat expensive. So it was a lot cheaper to draw like a big opaque polygon covering the screen and then draw, a little bit around the edge that's transparent. So that's why a lot of these things have these like two-part designs, or like even the buttons. It's like opaque part, transparent part, opaque part. Ooh, what? Oh my gosh, I guess I got lazy here. There's just a transparent part. But, oh, here as well. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should split these into, well, who knows. It probably, like I said, doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to like look back and look at all these old bits. Other stuff too. Here's all my original like map setups. There's Bridget. I have different like layers here. So I got like the render layer versus the collision layer. Here's where I do the collision model. A lot of times the collision model is a little bit simpler than the render model, just so that the like collisions behave better. And then there's also this little fella, which I'm sure everyone has figured out making their own maps. This little bumper here. So the bumper is just like little bits of geometry that kind of help people stay on the track, stuff like that. Ooh, that's cool. It's funny how like a cardboard box, you add a door to it and a few little things, then suddenly it looks like a playset. I remember like growing up with my like Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joes and stuff, I'd always make these like cool little playsets out of cardboard. So anyway, yeah, I like channeling that in the game, just like that feeling of like, yes, it's cardboard box. This could become something awesome. Blistica website, use pure GS. Right now, the Blistica website is just pure JavaScript CSS. It is all like hand spun HTML, which I intended it to just be like a super simple kind of stand-in website sort of thing. But it's actually starting to get a little bit complicated in terms of I got some responsive, basic responsive stuff in here. I am incorporating a few things, just like the Ace texture editor, which is a little like standalone JavaScript chunk of JavaScript for doing this kind of stuff. But I'm not actually using any fancy frameworks or anything. That would be like part of this was just so I could like learn HTML and learn CSS, and it's been great for that. Like I feel like I've learned so much compared to like when I started. So I feel like maybe I would be ready to embrace like a proper framework at some point. I started doing a little experiment like a year or two ago when I started this stuff with using frameworks or whatever. But I feel like I didn't know enough about HTML and all that at the time, where it probably would have been too much to try to tackle that. There's all the standard like React type stuff, or I was looking at Angular. My brother does web development. He uses Angular all the time, so that's why I was taking a look at that. But it might be worth like going back to that at some point just to come up with like a more super interactive design. Like this stuff, like I've designed everything so that the back, it's very light on the front end and the back end is doing more work. So, like every time you select a different thing here, it's just doing a whole new page fetch. So this isn't like a nice modern like front end client thing where it would actually be doing JavaScript every time you select something and updating the UI. Like it's literally just fetching a new page. But that means like I can do all the fancy stuff on the back end, which is all Python, which means I can recycle all the Python stuff that I'm building for the game and all that. So that part actually works pretty well. So I have a very like unified Python code base, which is great. So, but anyway, yeah, not doing anything fancy for front end stuff. Friend option, yes, there will be. That stuff should be coming soon. Well, I mean, technically that is part of 1.9 because that's more like part of the squad system, which will have friend stuff. I may be implementing some basic version of that, like when you're on your account in here, though. Because one thing, if I know this asset package stuff is still very, very early. I did the demo last week, but basically the way it works is you make asset packages, and then what you'll do is like publish versions. So I showed how to do like the dev version of an asset pack, where if you're making an asset pack, you automatically get this dev version of it, and you can use the dev version. Like if you're developing locally, you can just tell the game like, hey, don't use normal assets, use my assets, and then that version will like update automatically anytime you're upload something to your workspace. You'll automatically see that in the game. It'll like automatically keep like the dev version of your asset pack up to date. But when you're done with that and you actually want to share it with the world, there'll be more like a process for publishing that. So there'll just be like it's in there now. You can publish a test version, and there's going to be something where you can basically assign testers for your test version. So you can like assign a set of friends or whatever, people that are helping you with your mod that want to be able to test out your test version. And so I'm going to have to add some basic form of, I don't know if it'll be friends or just like a testers list. That'll probably be like right here. There'll be like testers. So you can, again, I'm not sure if it'll be friends or like a separate thing, but just something where you'll be able to like build up a list of people that you want to be able to like share your mods with and stuff like that. So some features like that will be coming sooner rather than later. But yeah, 1.8 will make online mods possible. It probably will be possible for people to like host a server with some online mods. I still got to figure out the exact process here, but right now the plan is that you can make like test asset packages and share those with friends, and that's just like you can do anything you want in there. Let me get rid of Maya here. I'm done with you, Maya. Go away. So there'll probably be like test asset packages that you can share with friends, and then you can build up your like tester list or your friend list or whatever. But probably to use something on a public server where everybody downloads it, I'll probably have to have some sort of like approval process. And so for that, I'm planning on, it'll probably be like that's what this prod thing is. The idea is that like a prod version of a package is like a public version. Like anyone can use that. So there might be something where, either moderators can approve stuff for prod, or I can approve stuff or something like that. So the idea being like people that have built the super cool total conversion mods, or anyone building a mod, just like I'll probably just have to check it or show me a screenshot or something, and then I can approve it as a prod mod, and then anyone can download it. So that's the plan. I want to make that as low friction as possible, but I do kind of want to have that like gate that people have to get through. I'm a little worried if I did something where like anyone can host a server with any assets, that someone's gonna have their like Super Mario server, and then I'm gonna hear from Nintendo next week. So I want to be a little careful on like having that like slight approval process before something is public. Restaurant ruins. Ooh. That could be fun. Oh gosh. Oh, I can show you the ninja. Like, I shouldn't have closed Maya. I can show you where this came from. That was the original model. Come back, Maya. Oh, Maya, you were so slow to launch. I remember Maya being slow to launch when I first used it back in 20 something years ago, and I assume they just keep adding more stuff to where like as computers get faster, Maya gets slower to launch. Spaz.ma. Hey, why am I not seeing my textures? Okay, there I got textures. What the heck? Wait a minute. I swear I had like my updated version of this. Maybe I didn't save it. Okay, 1 second. I gotta reassign this texture. Agent color preview. Okay, there he is. He's back. Go ahead and save that. Okay, looks like everyone's here. Hello, Bear. But yes, here he is in all his glory. That weird screenshot that keeps showing up. But with eyes, see, that's what he's supposed to look like normally. So anyway. You can see, spoiler alert, some of the original characters I had in the old version of the game, like Chewbacca. Obviously had to take him out when I made the game public. But Chewbacca was in the original Bomb Squad 0.6 back in the day. It was glorious. It'd be super cool, like if the game got to a place where could license some cool IP. We could get Chewbacca in the game again someday. That's the goal. Yeah, I know 1.8 has been longer than most updates, but it has been. There's been. I feel like I probably should have broken 1.8 into like two or three updates, because it's been a lot of stuff that wasn't really on the original roadmap. Like I did a huge just like tech overhaul, cleaned up a bunch of stuff. All this stuff with adding currency and all that, like that's not really. That was something I knew I needed for 2.0, but it's a good time to put it in right now. So it will be part of 1.8, but it wasn't, part of the to-do list on 1.8. So that's why 1.8 is taking so friggin' long. Ah, just a cat. We should have a cat. A cat would be fun. You can have like the cat noises when they get hit. Because he's 40 something. I'm so old and wise. I don't feel old. What was that in response to? Pre-Clay Mel. Oh, that to that. I feel like a lot of this is honestly just like taking a lot of time to do stuff. I know it's bad that it takes a year for minor updates and things like that, but I feel like my one if I were a superhero and I had a superpower, it would just be like patience. But like I'm cool just like working on one thing forever, um, which I guess it makes a game like this work for me because I could just like keep working on the same thing for a long time and hopefully not give up on it. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I have any tips aside from just like be patient on stuff or spend a lot of time on something. I've probably given out random tips. Like one tip I had was like start a game as a hobby, like do something for fun and do something because you want to play it with your friends. And if you make something that's fun and you do it, play it with your friends, like probably other people would want to play it too. And so, then you could pivot and release it on a store or something. That's how it worked out for me anyway. Hopefully that would work out for other people too. I know realistically that's not always possible. I mean, everyone has bills to pay, and some people like it makes more sense, or people have jobs they got to work, and there's no time, and families to support, and there's no time to build a game in the free time. So for some people, I know it is like realistically you just got to go for it, I guess. If you have some savings and just take some time and try to make a game, but it's certainly risky. I mean, they say it's kind of depressing how few games make money. They always say like if you look at the App Store, Google Play Store, it's like there's so many games and it's some like huge percentage of them that technically lose money, unfortunately. So it's hard for me to like suggest to people like, yeah, quit your job and go make a game and go for it, because it's like that's not always going to work out. It's like hopefully it will, but it doesn't always. Oh geez. Okay. Um, what I mean, would I like to help? Unfortunately, I really can't commit to anything outside of the core game right now, just because this is. I feel like I'm stretched to the limit, like trying to get 1.8 out the door and trying to not fall too behind on my roadmap stuff. So I can give my blessing to projects, but I really can't. I can't contribute time aside from that. Like give a little feedback and try to be supportive, but yeah, it's like Bomb Squad sucks up every moment of my day basically that I'm not doing friends and family stuff. Oh yeah, I just realized I am not drinking my coffee. Thank you for the reminder. Coffee is still like very heavy feeling. Normally at this time, yeah, the coffee it's like half full and I'm starting to worry about running out of coffee, but ugh. Yeah, this is nothing with Eric. This is just words with Eric. That's no good. We need coffee. Yeah, we need a drink command, like, or a giant graphic, like just remind Eric to have his coffee. Like this was very effective. I salute you, sir. I feel like this is like an arms race to get my attention. Current active player base of Bomb Squad is I. It's something like a few 100,000 players per day or something like that. Like on an average day, the install base is a few million, I think. It's been like strangely consistent for many years, which I am very thankful for. What am I doing? If I go to the play console, so this is just, I sometimes just check stats with like the Google console. So this is just the Google Play version of the game, which is, not the only version, but it's the vast majority of players right now. So installed audience 1.67 million at the moment. That's just installed though. That's like not people. What the heck? All right, the internet broke. Google, internet, something. Ugh, okay. Well, I cannot stop. Ah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Reloading and making whining noises apparently helped. Statistics. So this is always the one I look at, or one of the ones I look at, which is interesting, is I just do all time. So according to this, I don't know if this is like install base, but yeah, it's like, which is weird. It's just been like creeping up over time. It's creeping up a little bit now. Yeah, 1.6 million apparently. India leading the charge with 200,000. Mexico with 159. Russia coming in third, 107. Bolivia, well, dang. Fourth. U.S. is way down the list, which I mentioned before because I think U.S. skews heavily towards iPhones, or not towards, but it's like more than half of the population has iPhones. So I feel like the Android user base is relatively small here compared to that. So, which is why I feel like it's not super successful in the U.S. But yeah, anyway, it's always puttering around here. User base at 1.6 million. It's like a few 100,000 players active per day, I think, something like that. So it's a good amount of people. I don't know. I mean, it's not like Fortnite territory, but it's solid. But yeah, some of these other stats it's interesting to look at. Like the one I always look at is like Android version just to see. View by. Like this one's always interesting to see, like who's getting new versions of Android. So you can see like the yearly thing. We're just about to the point here where Android 14 is almost taken over the others. That'll be the biggest one. But there's still, yeah, lots of 13 people out there and 12 and 11. One I was looking at the other day is add Android version. Let's see, Android 6. Android 6 is the oldest one I'm supporting. I'm still trying to support Android 6. But the interesting thing is, if I hit apply, check out Android 6, it's 5,000 people out of 1.6 million. So there's really not too many Android 6 people out there. So you can see it's been trailing off for a long time. So there's a part of me which is like, oh man, maybe we should up it to Android 7 or something. Is anyone still using old versions of Android? If you're not afraid of me, not afraid to admit it. Yeah, there's that part of me that's like, I should update. But there, like one weird thing I found is a lot of people with like TV, like Android TV boxes, those are running like super old versions of Android. Like I recently updated the minimum version required from Android 6 or from Android 5 to Android 6. And I feel like I heard from a lot of people that are like, my TV box doesn't download Android or doesn't download Bomb Squad anymore. So I think I did actually like cut off a decent amount of TV players, which I felt bad about. But at the same point, it's like there are certain things in Android, like certain features that you only get as a developer, like when you update the minimum required version. So it's like, if I update my minimum from like Android 6 to Android 7, like there's probably a few cool new features I get or something like that. So there is like an incentive to keep bumping that version. But it's also like I do have test devices that are running Android 6 that still run the game just fine. So it's like I don't want to update at the same time. So it's a tricky decision. But then let's see. You can see stuff here. If I group by form factor, language, yeah, app version, you can see this is a very similar graph to the one that I showed you on my site, if it loads. Let's just show last 180 days. So you can see this very thing where like a new version comes out and it starts to get more and more, and then a new version comes out and replaces it. It starts to get more and more. So, but then like the total versions is still huge. So it's still like half the player base has like an older version of the game, and then the other half seems to be like getting the new update pretty quick. So anyway, yeah, fun with stats. Oh, still on Android 5. Okay, all right, I'll keep 5. I'll keep 5 around then. I didn't have any. Oh wait, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, 5 is gone. I thought we were talking 6. There were a number of kind of good updates or good things I got by updating to 6 as a minimum version. So I apologize for killing off 5 devices, but you can still run older versions of the game. But yeah, it is weird. Like Android 5 came out, like I wasn't realizing it, like 2013 or 14 or something like that. So it's like 10 years old. It's crazy. They stole my icon. Yes, I do realize that it's very generic and it's somewhat of a stand-in icon. I'm hoping to get a that is like extremely similar though, like the purple. Wow, that's awesome. I'm hoping to get a fit of inspiration at some point and come up with like a fun icon. But it was like I didn't have time to play around anymore, so I just threw in the little like speedy circle thing. But I don't know if anyone has any ideas. I'm just trying to come up with like a real simple iconic thing that just portrays like motion or something like that. So like a weird stylized bee that also looks like a meteor, or I don't know. Oh yeah, KTX. I was looking this up. I don't know, maybe you folks know more about this, but I was looking it up and it looks like DDS, like the DDS container format, does not actually officially support like ASTC. So ASTC is the compression that all mobile devices use. Or not all of them, but it's like the nice fancy compression that mobile devices support. And so my plan is that all textures will be using ASTC on, and that's just the format, it's not the container. My plan is that all textures will use ASTC on mobile, and then like BTC7, I think that's the new fancy compression on desktop. So it'll be ASTC and BTC7, or BC7. But the problem is that the DDS files, they don't like officially support ASTC compression as far as I know. So there are some tools that will like embed it in DDS files, but it's like there's some weird like hacky unofficial way. So I'm part of me is like, if I do that, I don't know if tools will support that, or if it's even worth doing, or if I should have the mobile version just continue to use KTX, like ASTC files and KTX files, even though everyone sounds like DDS files are much preferable. So I don't know. I gotta research it a little bit more. There's that part of me, I would love to just throw everything into a DDS file because those seem to be better supported by other tools and things. But like I said, I don't know if it's like officially supported to do ASTC. So I need to learn a bit more. If any of you poke around and find out about that, like I'm curious, like Windows, because Windows runs on mobile devices. So I'm curious, and Windows always uses DDS files. That's like direct draw, basically. It's or DirectX surfaces. It's like Microsoft's own thing. So I'm curious, like, how could they not support like the standard mobile texture format if Windows runs on mobile and I'm sure uses that format? So, got to figure that out. But yeah, that will be the plan is that for desktop stuff, this will spit out when you compile an asset package, it will automatically download a DDS file containing BC7 compressed texture, which should be super cool. We've been using like the old simple version for a long time, like BC3 and BC1. BC7 is much nicer. So at some point, like the next minor update or something, whenever I finally get asset packages used for all the game's built-in stuff, then everything will be like BC7 compression. So it should look nicer, which is cool. I also do want to have an option for like uncompressed, for like random textures where like that extra bit of quality is worth the extra space. So in general, it's better to use compressed textures for stuff like this, because the thing about these compression formats is like it uploads the texture to your graphics card compressed. So like the graphics card itself supports that compression. So that means it takes less like VRAM and stuff like that, or it takes less space on your graphics card. It's not like JPEG or something. JPEG is compressed, but your CPU has to like decompress that and then send the uncompressed chunk to your graphics card, which takes up a lot of space because it's like 32-bit uncompressed values, whereas like compressed textures are a lot smaller. So, but it is nice to be able to send the uncompressed one sometimes if you need like absolute full quality. So that's kind of why I do want to. I was thinking of having like a setting in here when you're messing with stuff, low, medium, high, and then like maybe uncompressed. But I don't want I don't want too many people to use that when they don't need it, because that will wind up with really big asset packs that don't need to be that big. So I'm thinking of probably just giving people these three options, and then that will translate into like, different compression options. Maybe there can be overrides. Like if you play around with this stuff, it's kind of neat. Like what this does, if you drag an image file into your workspace and set texture quality low, apply, like literally all of this is doing is setting values in your workspace.toml. So if you come into here and do edit, you'll see what we just did. Like, ta-da! This basically just went in and just set like a texture quality equals low. So that also means that there might be like extra, and then this, I will put this in the standard thing, but basically this all corresponds to values in, if you have Ballistica downloaded, it's a tools be a common workspace assets v1.py. So that shows you like all the values available here. So there might be some values available here that aren't available in the UI later, because I want to keep the UI like as simple as possible. But there might be some extra stuff here. So there might be something like a, like uncompressed equals true, blah, 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 something like that. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. Oh yeah, when I was talking about Windows on mobile, I also meant like, they're starting to be, they just announced like those new Surface, like tablets and laptops and whatnot, which run on ARM processors. And generally ARM processors support, they probably do support like kind of direct draw formats like BC7 and all that. But generally mobile chipsets and all that, they all support like ASTC as well. I know like the new Mac, like this Mac, this is using this is one of the newer Macs that uses like an ARM chipset. So it supports all the standard ARM stuff like ASTC compression, which for whatever reason is always only mobile. Like it's never been on desktop. But it also supports like the BC7 and the standard desktop stuff. So there's probably like Windows machines that are running on ARM chips, like those new ones at least, that do support ASTC. So I am curious like how Microsoft handles that. If maybe there's some new like official support for ASTC in direct draw Surface files. So who knows? All this stuff to learn. More coffee. Nice to add a clan option. Is this still a, like, I originally had thought about this, like a clan option. I feel like I've not been playing any multiplayer mobile games. Are clans still a big thing in games, like multiplayer games? That would be, if we do add clans or something, that would be like after 2.0. Like I just don't want to, I want to get 2.0 out the door, get it, on PC and iOS officially. Finally get that, it's been forever coming, so I don't want to like add any more features just yet. But clan support, that would be potentially a fun thing in the future. What's planned for 1.9 is squad support. So squads are a little different than clans conceptually. Squad support is basically just, it's like the play mode of, it's how Fortnite and all those kind of multiplayer games work, where you hop in the game and you invite your friends to your squad. And then you have like 4 friends on your screen, and then together the 4 of you play games. So, whether you're taking on other squads or doing co-op games or whatever, but that's what the squads mode is all about. Whereas clans, at least my conception of clans, that's more just like a big group of people that competes with other clans, at a high level, like who has the most trophies this season or, stuff like that. So that is like 2 different concepts. Squads mode is coming in 1.9. Clans stuff, that would be after 2. But if anyone has ideas for it, or recommendations, or games that do clans really well, or stuff you'd like to see, I'd love to hear. Like, notice me, please. Hello, no ball, no ball. I've noticed you. That reminds me of what the Mad Max Fury Road is, like, witness me, like what everyone's always saying. Squads mode, gangs mode, clans mode. No, it's just squads and clan. Clans wouldn't be a mode. That would be more just like a feature. Squads mode, that will be like a mode, I think. We'll have to see, but basically, yeah, it'll be like a different, like what's there now is like the existing, play stuff, the teams, multiplayer, gather sections. Like I'm gonna call that like classic mode, like that whole UI, that whole like way of playing the game, and then squads mode will be like a different UI basically, where it's all built around your friends, just like invite friends, play match, play co-op, whatever. And it might, like the old stuff might evolve more into like the squads mode UI, but it might still be a separate thing because it's basically kind of all the single player stuff and we'll see. Bomb Squad characters are secretly mobsters. Yes, that is actually the story of the game. They are all secret mobsters. Oh no, did I miss another message? What? Okay, just can you like repost? If I missed a message, repost it. Oh. I would love that. I would love a graphics update. I have been like doing some small things. Like in this update, I actually not big stuff, but I doubled the resolution of a few textures, things like that, just to make things a bit more sharp. It's almost like an HD remaster. So I feel like I'm slowly doing that. So there will be the better texture compression and larger res textures and things like that. Things will slowly get sharper. I would love to update the graphics because that's like my passion is like I love graphics coding, graphics and visual effects and all that kind of stuff. So I'd love to just like dive in and make the renderer way better, or even I'm always talking about like it'd be super cool to make it support like ray tracing, make a version of the renderer that just like completely takes advantage of like a modern insane GPU. Like that would be a ton of fun. But that's another one of those things where it's like I'm kind of forcing myself to not do that as much as possible until 2.0, because 2.0 is the priority. So just trying to finish this currency stuff, finish 1.8 with the asset packages, add some new stuff using those asset packages, and then get squads in there, and then 2.0. So, there's still a long road ahead to get to 2.0, but yeah, I want to just try to keep focused on that. Like I said, it would be super fun to do graphic stuff. I love that stuff, but I'm trying to force myself to stay a bit focused. But that is, one kind of nice style with like the clay stuff. The fact that like most everything is built out of real clay and then just like scanned in as photos is that, it looks half decent even though there's not like fancy shaders. It's basically like mostly flat shading, a little bit of like subtle reflection shading and stuff like that, but there's not like normal maps and like all the fancy stuff you expect in a modern game. A lot of that stuff is not in there. The upside is it keeps the game running well on like slower hardware, so I guess there's upsides too. Oh gosh, message gone from Eric's View. I've missed something again. Need money to get features. Were you hearing earlier, like talking about the currency stuff? Wait, what? This is my thought. In terms of, I guess I dabbled in advertising back in like 2011. I was experimenting when I first released it on Mac, but my thought in terms of reinvigorating the player base, that's kind of what 2.0 is for. Like 2.0, I plan that to be more about getting the game out there. Like right now, I kind of don't want to get the game out there any more than it is. It's like I have enough players to, test everything. And like right now, technically the game is losing money like on servers because I'm spinning up all these new servers and they're costing a lot of money. So technically right now, if I get more players, it's bad for me because it's basically a player equals a net negative. So that's part of why I'm redoing the currency and stuff. So to make the game self-sustaining, even with all these expensive servers. Um, so yeah, that's all part of the plan. Getting the game self-sustaining, getting all the at least the squad stuff in there, and then when 2.0 hits, at that point, then my plan is to hopefully hopefully the fact that it'll be launching on iOS and Steam, I think that will make a splash in terms of, I'll kind of be not rebranding it, but I want it to feel like a fresh game launch in a way. So that's I'm just laughing at this huge text. I will read this in a moment. So that's kind of the plan. Is 2.0 is when I want to hit the gas and try to get the player community a bit more stirred up. So I apologize if it feels a bit like a lull right now, and thank you for sticking with it. But it's kind of, like I said, kind of on purpose in a way. This is the message you missed. Ooh, that's a good idea. There should be. I do like that is something that'll be fun to play with. Another thing with again 1.8 being able to like upload. Like right now, I have to be up until now, I've had to be very careful about like adding new stuff to the game because every little thing makes that APK a little bit bigger. And, there's always pointing out statistics that the bigger your APK gets, the fewer people download it. It's not, it's like a very direct relationship. Some people will download like multi-gigabyte games and that's fine. But it's like, if a game is very small, like you're going to get a lot more people just like casually like, oh, hey, cool, checking it out. So I haven't wanted to like add a ton of like alternate skins and things like that. But with 1.8, because people will just like download any alternate skins or like special stuff that you can only assign to, that only a few people have, like that makes that kind of stuff more viable. So yeah, I'd love to, once that stuff is out there, I'd love to, reward all you folks that have been kind of sticking with the game, through the long haul and all that. So yeah, like having like limited edition stuff, like that sounds fun. Like I'd love to do that kind of stuff. And also hopefully fun for you folks to have some cool stuff you could show off. That's like, hey, this is from Bomb Squad 2 preseason or whatever, Oh, what are we talking about here? Burr, burr, burr. Okay, all right. Oh, how to get tokens. So that's the whole thing about tokens is it's basically a stand-in for real money. You'll get a little bit to start with, but the whole thing, there might be some very, very limited ways to get them, but that's the whole idea is like that is just the real money currency basically. So it should still be possible to play the game 100% without buying any tokens. You might just have some waits, or you can watch an ad to unlock something or whatever. Just be like a slight bit of standard free-to-play annoyance. But yeah, tokens is basically the whole reason for tokens is existing is so I can kind of separate out the payment portion of the game from like the in-game currencies and keep that more free-flowing. So like I said, I think new accounts I might start to give like 10 tokens or just something to like get the idea of what they can be used for. But that's really like I really wanted to get away from kind of the messy world of tickets where it's really hard for me to know like what causes people to buy tickets because if people can earn them in the game, they have no reason to buy them and stuff like that. And fundamentally it's like I need a certain number of people to buy stuff so I can pay the bills so I can keep making the game. So it's like I feel like this will simplify it, hopefully make it work better, and hopefully make it more clear. Just what in the game is paid for and what in the game is not. But again, I really I want to hopefully tread the line, or walk the line carefully where the game doesn't feel like sleazy. Because like we all know what that's like. You get a free to play game where it's like you play it for a bit, and then suddenly you hit a point where it's like clearly I would have to grind for 100 years to progress at this point. Like I hate that. I hate when it feels like, okay, clearly I have to pay or find a new game. I don't want it to ever feel like that. I want it to be like okay, this is beneficial for me to like I can save a little time by throwing a few tokens here and there, but I don't want it to ever feel like, oh, I can't play and I can't progress any further without real money. Like that's I don't like that. Um, yeah, so the Pro, yeah, I mentioned before, Bomb Squad Pro is at some point I will probably consolidate that so that Pro features are found elsewhere. But anyone who already has Pro or who buys Pro now, like you're still going to keep those features, like no ads and stuff like that. Like that's not. I won't be removing any benefits. um, the one slight caveat is I would like to make some things free for everybody. So there's a few things that Pro unlocks right now that at some point everyone might get, like playlist editing. I feel like I'd love to just have everyone be able to edit playlists. Um, so at some point, if you buy Pro, you might, you're technically not losing anything. It's just other people are gaining things. Uh, so yeah. So thank you to everyone who's bought Pro. I feel like it's kind of a testament to how bad the economy, or my economy, is in terms of, I think like 90% of purchases are like Pro, which is probably like, I mean, it's the one purchase that works decently well. Like that's, half the game is supported with ads and the other half is supported with basically Pro purchases. So thank you, Pro purchasers. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of get the token system in there so that, hopefully I can support it more with tokens and less with, just having like the weird single Pro unlock or whatever. So we'll see. BS Premium does exist. That is called the Gold Pass. So it's basically you download the game, you get the Gold Pass, and there will never be another in-app purchase or any ad or anything. That's as simple as I can make it. You can pay for the game in full, and then there's no more free to playness about it. So that's another big part of this design is I wanted to make it possible for, if people want to like do the pay as you go thing with tokens, like that's cool. If you just want to like buy the full game for it is like a full game price. It's like 30. That's the plan for it. I'll adjust that for other countries, whatever the standard. Is that like what is like a standard game, like a premium game on Steam is like, it seems like 30 is in the ballpark. I mean, it maybe 20. But I don't want to like overlap with token prices too much. So that's why I was thinking of like tokens. You can do like $1, $5, $10, $20, and then just the full game for 30. That's what, to me, that seemed reasonable. I don't know if anyone feels like that's like way off base with the world, please let me know. But to me, that seemed like that's currently the plan. Full game is Gold Pass. So if you weren't here before, let's see. Landings. So yeah, this is kind of like two parts of the same plan. Is tokens. Tokens are the new currency. They will be the only purchasable currency, and it'll just be like used to like skip waits and like standard little microtransaction free to play type stuff. Tickets will still be sticking around, but tickets is only going to be in game purely. Like you will only earn them in game. Most stuff that you unlock will be unlocked with tickets. So it's just the upside of that is then I can make it easier to get tickets or make more ways to get tickets. I don't have to limit that to try to get people to buy ticket packs because that sucked. So it'll be a lot more of a clear division of like paid stuff versus fun in-game stuff. And then also there will be the Gold Pass. The Gold Pass is a single purchase that basically gives you infinite tickets or tokens, infinite tokens, not infinite tickets because that would let you unlock everything in the game immediately. So yeah, it's that two-part thing where you can, tokens is basically like pay as you go version of the game, and Gold Pass is basically a premium version of the game. So I'm trying to just kind of keep it simple in terms of that. Yeah. Again, Pro benefits will not go away. So if you want to buy Pro now, like you're still gonna keep those benefits. Like I will make sure there's still like no ads, and I mean you'll still like the characters and the tickets that it unlocks. I mean it's not gonna take that away. Like part of part of Pro right now. It's like a little bundle pass, essentially. Like I said, the only thing that you'll lose technically is stuff that becomes free for everybody else, like maybe playlist editing and stuff like that. So that's a benefit you would lose, but you're not actually losing it. You still are able to edit playlists. So yeah, I hope this is all clear. And like I said, I think I'm just gonna power through this stuff in the next hopefully few weeks, convert everything over to token based and get rid of ticket purchases, just so it's not confusing. Right now it's like you can purchase tickets, you can purchase tokens. What the heck's going on? It's confusing. But yeah, I'd like to just get to this place where, yeah, there's tokens for the people that, want to do the free to play route. There's a gold pass for the people that hate free to play. and then, yeah, if you don't buy tokens, hopefully the game is still fun. It's just, there'll be slight annoyances like ads and things like that. Is the game going to be the same without having to buy those too? Yeah, the game will, there will probably, because there'll have to be something to spend tokens on. I think basically what the big change that'll happen, that I expect to have happen, is you'll be able to earn tickets by playing co-op levels. Like maybe achievements will unlock more tickets, but probably like just playing a co-op level. If you beat the level, you'll get like a treasure chest, and that treasure chest will probably have like a timer on it. And you can probably, like I said, I'm going to copy Clash Royale a little bit because I feel like their system feels fair to me. Where it's like when you do something cool, you win a match, you win a co-op level, you get a treasure chest. That treasure chest will have a timer. You can get up to 4 treasure chests at a time. More than that, and you either don't get a new treasure chest or you have to like spend a token or two to unlock one, so then you have space for a new one. So you'll see how it works. It's, like I said, I felt like it was a good system. It doesn't prevent you from playing or anything like that. It just, it prevents you from earning stuff as fast. Like if you don't spend a few tokens here and there, you'll just have to, either wait a little bit to earn stuff or whatever. But as modders, like nothing's going to change as modders. There's not going to be any like hard paywalls or anything like that. Like I said, in fact, I want stuff to get easier as modders. I want to, playlist editing. I want to make that free. Things like that. I would prefer to, because modders are a net positive. I love modders. I love that people want to tinker with the game. And a lot of these benefits, as a modder, you'll probably be able to hack the game and get the benefits anyway. But earning tokens and things like that, that'll all be server side, so you might not be able to hack that. You'll probably be able to hack it so it looks like you earned tokens. I think that's kind of how it works with ticket hacks sometimes. But it won't actually be registered on the server. Unless you're like a super awesome hacker that can hack my server, in which case, please tell me, because I don't want my servers to be hackable. Again, I want the stuff to feel fair. I want to be honest with everyone. It's like I do have to make money on the game, so it's like I do have to put little annoyances in there to get people to pay sometimes, but I don't. I want the game to still be fun, like for someone who doesn't pay 1 cent. It's just, currently, there's ads and things in the Android version, so it's like there's still technically people are paying for the game by watching ads. Oh, that's also another thing is like ads will kind of be a substitute for tokens. Like if you're wanting to open a treasure chest, you'll probably be able to watch an ad every so often to open that chest. So, you don't have to buy tokens. Tokens is just another way to do it. Is that how Hill Climb Racing works? I haven't actually played any like recent free to play games, so I'm curious like what the kind of normal strategies are. I remember playing Clash Royale a lot at the beginning, and I was very happy with how not sleazy that felt. It wasn't just, there was never that moment. There were still things where like you could spend infinite money on buying treasure chests and stuff or loot boxes, and I'm not going to have that. And that part always feels questionable to me, but just the fact of like that normal loop of like playing around, earning a treasure chest, and playing another round, earning another treasure chest, like to me it felt very natural to like, okay, I'm gonna throw a few coins at opening, or throw a few, I guess, gems in that case. And use a few gems so I can keep playing a little longer and earn some more treasure chests. But it never like prevented me from playing. It never felt like, clearly I have to spend $10 to progress past this point. I don't want to have that feeling. So please, if the game ever feels like aggressive like that, or abrasive, like please let me know. But yeah, basically, yeah, we can make that unlockable with tickets. Basically anything. Yeah, I'd love to have more uses for tickets. And oh yeah, that might be something. I guess that is another benefit of Pro. I forgot about that. So yeah, that stuff would be unlockable with tickets, or if you already have a Pro account or Pro Pass. Yeah. Yeah, stuff like this too. Like yeah, maybe hard mode would be. Yeah, that might just be maybe available for everyone also. Um, so yeah, I want free. Yeah, basically, I did have to at some point. Had to start getting a little bit more aggressive to keep the game like profitable. So I had to like lock more stuff behind Pro. But my hope is that like this token economy, it's a pretty standard thing. I think it'll make up for Pro. So I think I can probably give people the Pro benefits by default, and then just have the token economy pay for the game. That's my hope. Everyone's learning. You can just make big text to catch my attention. Um, Find a bug, which is oh no. I feel like I've slowly learned over the years. I mean, it's really been interesting, like watching people find ways to get tickets. Like I said, it's kind of a bummer that it feels like the best way to get tickets in game is doing weird account link exploits. And I mean, it's fine. It's like people will always find the best way to do things, but it's like that's not. I'd rather people want to get things by playing the game. Like play the game, have some fun, earn some tickets, and not link 5 accounts and go through this checklist and do this little trick to get tickets. Like that's the fact that I was making people do that, forcing people to do that by trying to keep tickets like artificially scarce, like that to me that says I was doing it wrong. So I'm hoping this is a course correction, and I'm hoping it's a good thing. But yeah, I'd love more ticket use. And also, again, the 1.8 update will let me make more like fun skins and like limited edition stuff. This also leads to the question of like seasons. The one other thing that I thought might happen at some point, I want to keep everything very simple, but some idea of like a battle pass type thing down the road, if there's a non-sleazy way to do that, just something where it's like if you have the gold pass, you'd automatically get all battle passes or whatever, but it could just be like one extra purchasable thing that would just. I was thinking like some way where people could just get a few characters immediately, like randomly during one season, or just as a way to, just immediately unlock some stuff, like or a season pass. Maybe it wouldn't even be battle pass like. It would just be some sort of like season pass that could, maybe that would replace Pro in a way in terms of, like stopping ads or something like that. So, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. That would be that's like a later thing, just a thought. Yeah, this does. It is a bummer. I would love to have ads on the Windows version. It's just last I checked, there's no ad networks that you can put on games like that. But to be fair, last time I checked it was like 10 years ago. So there might be some. I should look into that because I do like having ads if they're. I mean I hate forcing people to watch ads. That sucks, but it also pays the bills. But I do like having optional ads, for like unlocking stuff or entering a tournament or things like that. And I would love to have that be an option on like the Windows version or the Mac version or Linux version. But the problem I ran into last I looked is that there's just no easy way, or yeah, there was no way to do that as far as I could find. There's tons of ad networks for mobile games. Everyone has played plenty of mobile games with ads, so there's lots of those. But I should check. Maybe there's something, or some alternative for people that don't want to buy token packs. Estimated date for Steam release. The big plan is 2.0. 2.0 is going to be Steam and iOS. That's so until then. I mean, there's still the Windows test builds. You can still play the latest test builds on Windows. It's still missing a few features. The main thing it's missing is Unicode support, so a lot of languages don't show up correctly. That's like number one on my need to fix it list before the Steam release. Um, but yeah, so basically it boils down to 1.8, which is getting near the finish line. We'll be finishing this currency stuff and finishing asset packs, so we can have cool downloaded characters. 1.9 will be all about getting squads mode up and running, so you can invite your friends to your squad and play online super easily. And hopefully that'll be more ways to earn tickets and stuff easily. And then, yeah, 2.0 will just be all about kind of the relaunch and like Windows and Linux. So just 2.0, there's no new features in 2.0. I'm sure it'll be like a polished pass. But 2.0 is really all about like the new platforms. So that's kind of what 2.0 will be, is Windows and iOS. Two point oh after GTA 6. I can't make excuses. It takes me a long time to do stuff. I'll get there. Hey, the game started at 0.6. We're at 1.8 almost. That's a way bigger number. All right, I'm probably missing things. One system similar to Team Fortress 2 premium system. I mean, do they have a similar thing? Is that the Gold Pass account? Maybe I could rename the thing too. I could call it like Premium Pass or something. But basically, the whole idea is that Gold Pass is just basically paying for the game like a premium game, and then there's no more ads, no more paywalls, anything like that. So, my internet apparently is not agreeing with me. Yeah, it is. It's old, but it's also. I mean, I am updating it. I know it's like it doesn't look updated if you look at Bomb Squad 20 years ago versus now. Well, no, not 20 years. Well, what year is it? 10 years ago, I guess. Like even 10 years ago, it didn't look a ton different on the surface, but there's under the surface and on the server side, there's tons new. Oh my God, it's my ugly costume from whenever that was. Server error. Make my ugly costume go away. I was just being like a lizard dude or something for Halloween, but I was like, oh, that's so ugly. I don't like it. Yeah, when you look at commits on GitHub, like you're seeing client commits. Like if you look at if we go to GitHub, put this window over here in case my ugly lizard face comes back. So yeah, you can always tell like which part of the game I'm working on. Yeah, last commit here 2 weeks ago. If you go to eFromling and Ballistic Master Server, last commit 2 hours ago. So you can kind of there's plenty of commits happening. It's just not always on the client. Also, like because I've been working on all this. Can I scroll? Oh, okay, it's gone. Whew. I've been working on all this currency stuff. Like I didn't want to be committing that half done because it's extremely confusing. There's like a currency button that doesn't work. Where? Open source the master server. That would go well. Well, actually, I mean, I almost could. They always say like security through obscurity is never good. So yeah, it's like I almost could open source. I thought maybe at some point I'll open source parts of it, like the web rendering stuff, or like if it would be useful. That's the only thing is like the one thing. Yeah, I wouldn't want people to like spawn alternate master servers because then that has the potential of taking away like all of my ability to make money on the game. So I got to be careful there. That's unfortunately why it seems like there's so few big games that are open source is because you know if people fork the game, then you know it's hard to make money that way. I'm trying to like trying to find a path, you know, where most of Bomb Squad is open source, but like the plus bits are not, and like the server's not. So you know I gotta like find this you know the happy line where I can still like make money from the game and support myself and all that. But I do like open sourcing as much as I can. Oh yeah, I was just wondering like what any individuals. I was wondering what that was about. What MacBook are you using at the moment? I'm using a M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch from it's getting a little. I mean, it's not old, but there's definitely the newer ones are about twice as fast now, so it's getting a little long in the. I mean, everyone has different spans for you know. Some people buy new computers every few years. Some people buy a new computer every 15 years or something. I'm usually like I average once every 3 or 4 years. I think I'll buy a new laptop. So this one is getting to the end of its life cycle. So I might get a new one next when the M4s come out, because that should be my rule is like when the new series is maybe twice as fast for average stuff I'm doing, then it's worth upgrading. So that should be basically the case, I think, with the M4 Pro or Max or whatever. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I got this one in 2020, I believe, 2021 maybe. Oh, those are nice. The 20. Yeah, my wife just got one of those. It's so light. It's nice. And yeah, for a lot of things, probably faster than mine now, like for single core stuff. Possibly bump minimum players for Vokic to 4. Is this? I mean, I'd be happy to make that change. Does everyone agree with that change? I know the vote kick stuff sucks. I know it. People, yeah, get vote kicked for stupid reasons. Do you all like? I mean, would you all agree that 4 would be good? Is that like a contested thing? If it's something where like everyone feels a certain value would be better than what's there now, like I'd be happy to change the value. Or if someone, I mean, I think that's in the open source part. If someone wants to look for that and submit a PR, or I can do it myself. But yeah, if there would be a better default there. I know it's not a great system, but like if we can make it as uncrappy as possible for now, you know, until we have a better system. I mean, it should be changed entirely. Like for one, I want to have a you know, a graphical system or something. You know, maybe something that pops up to the side. And also something that can be customized per server easily. Like I don't know, there's so many things that could be better about it. It's very hard coded and janky right now. Can Bomb Squad run on a pregnancy? Yes, as soon as I finish my microwave version, pregnancy test is. I do actually wonder, like, what. Like, I know that's ridiculous, but like, I do wonder, like, do the pregnancy test or something that simple have like a processor in it that could run like, you know, Doom or something? Yeah, I mean, Bomb Squad's a little more demanding, unfortunately. The rigid body stuff, the physics, that's a bit. Like actually just running like the graphics code, like probably all well, I don't know. Python itself is like running Python. You probably need a bit of a beefy machine. Like I think probably the bare minimum machine that could run Doom is probably way lower than Bomb Squad, unfortunately. Bacteria. Yes, organic Bomb Squad. It just spreads itself. It's like a virus. Like, you look sick. What's wrong? Oh, I caught Bomb Squad. Oh wow, what's this old one? Is that? Holy moly! Oh, I got to show my old. This is my first laptop from. This is my titanium PowerBook G4 from like 1990 or no, like 2000. It actually stylistically, it sort of looks like the new one with the very like flat design. But yeah, the hinge is like. I got to open it about this fast. It feels like the hinge is gonna break. Come on, you can do it, little fella. Almost there. I have it running Linux, so at some point I installed Linux on it. I was using it as a server for a while. It lived under my couch, but now it's just up on my shelf. It's like a little nostalgia piece. So yeah, my very first laptop. I don't even know if I was working on Bomb Squad when I was. No, I think this predates Bomb Squad. This probably never had Bomb Squad on it. So yeah, old 500 megahertz of pure glory. All right, now I have to close it again. Give me a while. Well, to turn it on, let me put that back. To turn it on, I have to bust out the power adapter because that battery is 24 years old or so, and I don't think that battery could probably last. It's probably unsafe to actually have that battery in there at this point. I don't even know, but anytime I turn that thing on, I just have to bust out the power adapter. So it's super cool to like. Do any of you guys do that? Do you have like old computers? I guess like a desktop computer, it's less common, but if you have like laptops, it's kind of fun to like keep your super old laptop just to bust out some nostalgia. Oh yes, my camera auto follows. It's that weird. I'm using the weird little thing where you can use your phone as a camera because it's way better than the webcam on my monitor. But yeah, it does the like. I forgot they have some stage something term for it. My favorite though is when it just like slowly zooms in on my face for no reason. A lot of times it's like when I'm taking a sip of coffee, it'll do like a slow zoom in, and it just looks like so cinematic. It's like I'm thinking of something profound. Let's see if it does it. No, it only does it when I'm not. It's just because I was talking about it. It probably heard me. It's advanced AI. Oh, nice. Windows XP. Oh man, I love just like playing with old stuff. As a Mac head, I found this awesome website. Let's see, where? Oh yeah, infinitemac.org. It's basically like Mac emulators running in a browser. So it's like super old, like Mac OS 7. Which is yeah, like oh my gosh, this is actually the first version of Mac OS I used. I feel so old now. I mean, I am old, but yeah, like we had our computer basically was this, like our family computer. Um, so it's crazy that like it runs so well in a freaking browser now. I know they have these for other stuff like various versions of Windows and all that, but yeah, it's fun to just go into nostalgia mode. So yeah, that sucks. Sorry about that. I It is possible to add a filter per server. Like I did add functionality for that because people are asking for it. It's just people then have to write their own filters. Um, the plan is like squads mode just won't have chat with randos. So the plan for squads mode is by default, I think probably even if you play co-op, it'll probably not have chat. It'll like you'll only have chat if you want to, maybe opt in or something like that, or if like you're playing with friends. Or probably like it'll probably just have like squad chat by default. So if you invite someone to your squad, you can chat with them, both in game, maybe out of game too, whatever. But then if you're just doing random matchmaking and you're like playing with some random person, it'll probably just be limited to emotes. That's the plan anyway. Because yeah, I don't like. I mean, the internet is full of obviously we've all played games and you know how it goes. It's like it's can be very toxic. So I'd prefer to just have things be more, block the toxic stuff by default. My same thoughts with voice chat. Like I've looked into that. It would be fun for playing with friends and stuff. But then at the same point, like just hopping on Discord with friends is not too hard. Getting a game going. Oh gosh. Thank you for that. I need to fix that. That's I'm going to make myself a note right now. That'll be an easy fix. Okay. Note created. Yeah, for all this stuff, this can happen like, whoa. If you're making a UI, like I forget to do it sometimes too. There's kind of janky little like max width values for any bit of text, but it's kind of important to set those and then test it with a really long string. Otherwise, stuff like this happens where like volume, I'm sure, or it's like audio sound volume. Oh, even sound volume. It seems like that would not fit. Well, maybe it would fit there, like sound volume, music volume. Like the normal stuff probably fits there, but different translations clearly don't. So that needs to be fixed. Oh yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's do a live bug fix session. All right, and then I'll call it a day because we're running out of time here. But live bug fixes are fun. Let's do it. Okay, so first I gotta like zen and remember where this stuff lives. So I think it would be badata. Okay, source asset badata Python. This is UI stuff. So UI is just the UI itself, like the building blocks. UI lib is all the stuff that uses that building blocks. So be a UI lib, blah, 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 blah. That would be under probably settings. Audio, cool, yay, somewhat organized here. Now, all right, we come in here. Let's make that a little more readable. Audio settings window. Let's see if we can find where this is getting made. I'll scroll down so people can talk. Actually, I want to scroll back up so I can see the... Okay, so it looks like there's title, back button. Okay, and here we go, sound volume. Ooh, okay, this might be slightly... So it's config number edit, which is a little class that was put together to give you like a... Whoa. Give you a little set of controls. Okay, so come into Ballistic Internal, make CMake. Speaking of audio controls, let's turn that off. Okay, so here we go. So here's this stuff. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, a lot of times if I'm messing with stuff like this, for display name, instead of, I'm just going to comment out the old one and temporarily set it to something really long. This is a really long string, isn't it? And let me make sure that doesn't need an L string. Okay, that compiled. All right. So sound volume num edit. Settings audio. Oh my god. So apparently there's no limit to how wide this thing can be. I can't believe that's, oh man. I'm always wondering, like, some of these bugs, like, how do they survive this long? I'm sure there's tons of languages that look totally broken. All right, now, config number edit. Normally there's like a text widget here, and then there's an argument to the text widget, like max width. But this is using some little put together magical thing that is like a little class. What? So there used to be a max width in here, but it's been commented out. I guess the question is, Why did I comment that out? Note to self, when I comment something out, I should write why I'm commenting it out. So if this little control always creates things with a certain size, then there should be like a max width of, like a fixed size max width. So I'm seeing big names. Check the file in blame mode in GitHub. Okay. I'll check it in my internal repo, Ballistica internal. I'm curious if this will show anything. Source, assets, data, Python, BAU IV1lib, it's hard to say. Settings, audio, blame, there we go, blame. And now we are looking, oh wait, no, that we want, wrong file, BAU v1 config.py, okay. So I guess I have a little file that's just for like config related stuff. And what? Line 125. Well, apparently this change is... Oh, yeah, I was like, wait, there's no blame for anything. What? Oh, latest public internal sync. Okay, so that means that came from when I was syncing this with public. Ah, okay, all right. So that means this might have happened in the public repo. So let's flip over to the public repo. We might be tracking down some actual blame here. I'm just gonna go this way. All right. I feel a little bad. It's like we're like rallying a posse to go after somebody. If this mistake was somebody here, it might very well be me, but if it was someone who submitted a PR, shame on you. No, it's like mistakes happen, but I have a feeling we just need to uncomment that line and all will be well again. I'm just curious like why it would have gotten commented. Maybe somebody just testing stuff. Config.py, blame. Ah, wait. Uh-oh. Okay, so fixing a few UI stuff. Yeah, looks like that might be you. Do you have any memory of why you commented this out? I guess I should have looked at this more closely. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you did something to fix it in some case where it was broken, but it clearly broke other cases. So, So now I need to make you like do a PR to fix it as like a walk of shame. Yeah, I see. There's something nefarious going on here. Just adding random comments throughout the code or commenting random things out. Okay, well, it's good to know. I will go ahead and just fix this right now because I feel like getting it back to what it was doing before is good. So now just to show what it should look like with that big long text string. Settings, audio, yeah, there we go. So you can see like even if it's a really long string, it will still squish it to fit in the right area here. But there may be some other place that's using this config UI bit, in which case it's not doing the right thing. So maybe we need to like improve it in some weird way. But you can see this is like usually what I do to test UIs is just type like, this is a really long string, blah, 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 just to make sure that it like fits in a reasonable space. You just have to remember to like not leave that in there. Like uncomment that, get rid of that. Should be back to normal. Wait, did I not save that? Oh, yeah. Save the file and then check it. Okay, there we go. So now we have sound volume, and it should be not broken in other languages. Oh, tell file name, please. Oh, that was BAUIV1. Yeah. Source assets data Python BAUIV1 lib config.py line 125. So it was in this config number edit. So maybe something is using config number edit in a way that breaks the width somehow. But I don't know, is there a X offset? We'd have to look in and see if like X offset is being used in some weird way. There could just be something broken with it in some way. I mean, or maybe it was an honest mistake too. Maybe we were just messing with something and forgot to turn it back off. But anyway, we did some live code improvements. So yeah, and thank you for forgot who posted that originally, just showing that it was slightly broken. Yeah, so on that note, we are over time again, so this keeps happening, so I should probably cut things off for today. So I'm going to keep working on the ticket token new economy stuff and hopefully start rolling test versions of that out within a few days, maybe tomorrow even or something like that. There'll probably be just like Google Play test versions just to make sure things are working, and then once that's working, I can start rolling out to the whole audience. What? 1.8? I really hope so. I mean, my estimate is still 1.8 is a few weeks of work out. And then adding this currency stuff in right now adds, that's slowed me down for a few weeks. But yeah, my estimate would be September-ish right now. But yeah, we'll see. I should not give estimates because I'm terrible at hitting them. But the upside of getting this currency thing done is it's one less thing to do before 2.0. So even though I am slowing down 1.8, it is, checking one thing off the list for 2.0, because that was something that I was, or at least for squads mode also, because I want squads mode to kind of be integrated with that same sort of gameplay loop, where like you play a match against people. If you win the match, you get a treasure chest of stuff that you can either unlock after some time, or if you have the gold pass, you can unlock immediately, or if you're paying with tokens, you can unlock that with tokens or an ad or whatever. So that'll be kind of like integrated with squads mode too. So this is something, the token stuff is something that needed to happen soon-ish, but I'm just going ahead and getting it done now, because then we can use it for, like I said, the reason I added it was for data packs for modders, because I was getting all this asset pack stuff done. I want people to be able to like upload their storage to like crazy amounts if you do want to like build big asset packs. But to do that, I needed some way for people to like pay for that storage, so I don't go bankrupt. And for that, I needed the token system. So it's like, for this I need that, for that I need that, for that I need that. This is always like this weird game of dependencies. Like, I'm blocked on this because I need that, blocked on that because I need that. So anyway, that's the explanation. So long story long, that's kind of why, 1.8 is taking even longer than it should have, just this currency stuff. But currency stuff is hopefully not going to take too much longer. Anyway. Oh, it is messing with the scale value after it hits max width. Well, if you run into a case where like it seems to be doing the wrong thing, like we should try to fix it. Like if you can show me a screenshot or something, if yeah, like the teams and free for all config window, like if we can make it behave better in there, like maybe there's a something that works for both. But yeah, it's just kind of a general thing is like whenever you're editing library stuff, you know, always be careful to see what's using it because there might be a use case that you're not testing for, you know. So I run into that all the time myself. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. The coffee with Eric, it'll have to have something with tokens. I want to call them tokens, not coins, because and I want to try to give them like a slight bronze look, you know. So the whole thing, like with tickets, the reason I added tickets is because I wanted the game to feel, or wanted it to remind me of. I don't know if you have those around the world. Like we have, you know, family fun time things in America. These little like, you know, places you go where it's like you get pizza and there's arcade games and like skee ball and you earn tickets by playing those games, and then you can exchange tickets for like stuffed animals, you know, like carnival type things. So that's why I wanted to have like tokens and tickets. It's stuff that shows up in those situations where it feels a little bit like a carnival. Um, so that's why I was calling them tokens and not just like gold coins or coins or whatever. I know they look just like coins, but it's a slight distinction. So, oh my gosh, more questions keep showing. Plan to change the voice from the bunny into an original one. That could be good. I know it's people may have discovered my dark secret that it's just a pitched up version of Kronk. At this point, though, if I changed it, would people be upset? Like, would people be like, no? Like, wearing T-shirts with like "Bring back original bunny voice." It's one of those things where even though something might be an improvement, people are very used to like how it was. I know that's the bad thing is I didn't really think about it in slow mo, so it just sounds like Kronk. So yeah, but then again, like I feel like a bunny would just have like a pitched up voice anyway. So in slow mo mode, it's just gonna sound like a normal dude's voice anyway, or something. So I don't know, unless maybe there's a flag for certain audio files, like always play this in high pitch, like even in slow mode or something. Let's have to think about that one. So, all right. Anyway, I should go for now. So everyone, it has been fun. If there's any last moment questions or thoughts or anything, otherwise I will get off and get back to working. So, all right, been fun, everyone. We ran over a bit again, but such is life. Sure, yeah, I'll hang out on Discord for a bit. I'll DM you in a second, and then yeah, potato. Wait. Okay, we gotta wait. Ad skins 1.8 will be happening. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to yeah getting asset packs and workspaces and all that stuff working really well and starting to like use the heck out of them myself. So it's like I want to, you know, as they say, dog fooding it. I want to dog food that stuff. All right, waiting. I will take one last poignant sip of coffee. Yeah, that'd be fun. Like Spaz with like a swimsuit or something, just looking all like he's ready to go to the beach, but he still has like his dorky helmet on. Yeah, that is a good question. Like, yeah, characters that are, because I feel like having a high pitched voice gives you a certain type of like makes it feel like a certain type character, but then epic mode it would just completely negate that. Like a high pitched voice, down pitched is just a voice. Um, oh, Vishal. Oh yeah, sure. Please do. Okay, all right. I'm gonna. This will be a little like encore, epilogue, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna end the stream, and then Vishal's gonna show us some cool stuff, and then we will call it a day. Oh, no cool stuff. Well, okay, some stuff. Oh, are you just are you showing the bug or the weird text? Oh, okay, sounds good. So all right, not super cool stuff, but
Yeah, can you see the screen?
yes, I can see. So yeah,
1 second.
all right.
Yeah, see the disco color theme. This was the plugin I changed right now the text scale to 0.5.
Oh, okay.
So it shows that size normally. So if I just change it to like 50 or maybe 10.
Okay, so basically, so it sounds like probably the max width. I think it might be something stupid where max width actually scales with text scale.
It's messing with the scale text. Yeah.
Yeah, so we might just have to do some math in there. I can probably do that right now where it like multiplies the max width by the text scale or something. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I could see the text scale is right there, but the distance is increasing.
Oh, okay. All right. So is text scale
The scale,
is that an argument to the config thing, config box or whatever the
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
config,
so I just need to
what
test
is
that with
setting.
different text scales to make sure it works. So that's okay, that should be a fixable thing. So that is a technically a bug. So you were fixing it in your case, it just broke it for another case. So we should get it fixed for all cases. So cool. Well, thanks for the heads up
Yeah,
on that.
that's
So all right.
okay.
Well, for everyone else, I'm gonna head out now. So it's been fun, and I will see everyone next week. So peace out.